Hey y'all, welcome to Off the Beaten Path. My name is Cush.
My name is Breezy. On our podcast, we explore the great outdoors and the Second Amendment with a blend of culture,
comedy, and conversation. And oh yeah,
I'm making beats.
I don't think that intro will ever get old.
No, it probably won't.
No. Go ahead. Breeze. I know I always do the intro, but I want you to do the intro. Introduce our guest.
Take this away. Let's see. Kenzie Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. Three Gun Kenzie. Entrepreneur, sharpshooter, markswoman, writer, marketer, media personality, influencer. And those are just some of the things she knocks out before lunch. We got Three Gun Kenzie on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, I'm doing the sounds too, so
he messed it up.
We'll let off some air horns. What are you gonna do? All right, I'll get those ready next time.
So Kenzie, so the industry knows you. People in the industry, obviously, we've ran into you several times. We've been following you. We love what you do. We love what you represent. I love women who are straightforward badass. You know what I mean? My wife is from South Texas. She can shoot a gun like I don't know, like it's the back of her hand. Oh, now, she might not be as proficient as you are, but she's a badass.
Yeah.
And so, man, we're really creating this platform for ladies like you. And, you know, we just want to ask you a few questions and figure out, like, what was the driving force. So for the people who do know you, this is not for y'all. This is for ladies who are looking to explore the space. Give a brief intro of yourself and how you got into it.
First of all, Rob, I need you to just introduce me to all the rooms because my God. Yeah, so all of these things that he said are not stuff that I planned for. So I grew up duck hunting. Like that was the big thing that I did with my grandpa and like fishing with my other grandpa. So like, I mean, that's always been like our family thing. My dad still is a gun collector to this day. And that's something like him and I really share as a bond. But yeah, so I grew up hunting and then I honestly didn't touch a gun from like, I want to say 14 years old until I hit college. And I was later, I think I was like 20 years old. It was a little bit later in life. I ended up having something happen to me. Some guy got out of prison actually in Tallahassee and tried to break into my house. Wow. Yeah, so I still have that police report. And I was 20, so still like, you know, underage by a pistol, but my dad gifted me a Glock that I still have to this day. And then I was like, you know what, I should get my permit when I turn 21. So like the day of my birthday, 3 days later, I got my carry permit. And then I signed up for a competition. And then in college, I tried out for the pistol team. So Florida State was really kind of the driving force behind me even knowing about competition shooting. And that was really cool. So got my permit, started competing. Then I started teaching. So I got into like doing the Florida concealed carry permits because at the time it wasn't the constitutional carry state, you know, that was 10 years ago. Yeah. And the addiction like really came from shooting in Tallahassee. They had cowboy action. They had the first 3-gun match I ever shot, USPSA, Steel Challenge, all this stuff. And then, I mean, I can give you the long, but the whirlwind is I didn't mean to end up here. I started writing about 5.5 years ago off Fiverr. Or Upwork, but I was on Fiverr too. And someone gave me a shot to start writing who's in Knoxville now, the company Wideners. And that was my first shot at writing. And then I started going to industry events. Like I met you guys at NRA for the first time and people were starting to ask me about like my articles and then I started getting in print. And then, yeah, started doing, I don't know, I hate the word influencer, but I guess I would say expert, you know, in women's stuff, whether it's concealed carry or competition or just guns that fit them better. So yep. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Not planned.
So you touched a few things that I'm going to ask you a couple questions about because your story is entrenched in perseverance, right? So like, I think it's cool. I think it's really dope that you grew up hunting with your granddaddy, both of them, fishing and hunting, and also that you and your dad are like really into guns. That's dope. I have firearms. I have children, girls. Same with Breezy. So it's kind of like something we want to pass down. But you said you took a gap from the time you were shooting as a young woman to a college student, and then something triggered that. Now, something I'm really big on, I know Rob is too, is situational awareness. And sorry, my tongue. Blah, blah, blah. But what was it? What was that experience like? I don't want you to relive it, but just from a young lady, college, what was that like for you that like thrusted you forward? Because for some people as a whole, they clam up and they let fear run their world, and for others are like, nah, I'm taking this back.
Yeah, like everything that's happened to me, and it's not really reliving. I'm glad stuff that happened like that happened to me, and not someone that maybe couldn't have handled it. Right? It shaped me to be who I am. It actually led me to where I'm at in the career. Like, there's heavy stories I could say. Women are raped in 1 in 4, and like I'm part of that population. And it's stuff where the firearms, they're tools. I don't ever use the word weapon. Actually, if you go back through anything I've ever written or talked about, I don't use that word, because anything could be that, right? But a firearm is a great equalizer. It is the tool that can equalize whether it's someone that's faster than me, stronger than me. It doesn't even have to be male, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of women that can kick my ass, but it shouldn't take, what I will say is it shouldn't take an incident happening for you to finally do something about it, right? It is something that, like, I wish more women were proactive, and then it never has to happen to them. And that's really important that I teach. And I feel like I am lucky. I am lucky in this regard, is because I grew up around firearms. I knew that I needed hearing protection. I knew that I needed eyewear. I knew how to go to the range. I knew I needed ammo. Like, so the learning curve is what really frustrates me about the firearms industry, is honestly going into a gun shop. It's horrible for women. It's intimidating. They're not very helpful, and they're typically not very knowledgeable. And they're not welcoming. Like, that first step into a gun store, if it's not welcoming, it paint their whole life with firearms, right? So that's the stuff that I'm trying to reach women at first, to teach them right, to welcome them in, even starting with dry fire stuff. My Gals Day at the range event is all about that first step for women. I have new shooters come. And so that's stuff that I like to harp on, but yeah.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, well, a couple things, because I heard you say FSU. So you're from North Florida, right?
Pensacola, Florida, Lower Alabama, LA.
Northern. Yeah. That's funny, because we're South Florida guys. So we try to explain to people when we're out of town, like, there's South Florida, FLAWADA, and then there's Florida, and then there's Southern Georgia and Southern Alabama. So it's very different culture in the state. Yeah, for sure. So I'm just curious, a couple things. I love that you touched on getting women, more comfortable with shooting and walking into a gun store and knowing what to ask, knowing what to get. I'm just curious, like, if you had some advice, like, what would be your top couple things that you would recommend new shooters that might be a little scared to take that first step?
The biggest resource that you're going to have is your shooting community wherever you live. And what that could look like could be an instructor course, or people, that are, I wouldn't look at NRA credentials necessarily, but people that know their stuff that are teaching. So I would look at classes nearby, but that's like the tip of it. Don't start there, right? But then also look at your local ranges and see what types of competitions that they do sit in. And I'm not talking about going to shoot a competition necessarily, but all these competitions that happen locally, they're open to the public to spectate. And so what was really neat, as I've even had my parents do this, they've come to a match and just ask questions, watch me shoot, and then you get to see all this different guns and gear. And what people don't know about the shooting community is, it's like not pro tennis or pro basketball where you couldn't possibly compete or shoot with your parent, but shooting, there are 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 14-year-olds. There are kids that are safe, better shooters, and that are kind of demonstrating the way that anybody can really get into firearms, and it's not that intimidating. So starting, I would look at like competitions, look at your range, look at classes. And then if you have any, I'm not part of any of these groups, but I know like they're really welcoming, as the Well-Armed Women, A Girl and a Gun, like stuff like that. There's those groups, and that could be a good intro, and that's not for everyone. Certainly not my thing, but there's a lot of opportunities out there for you to like find a community, but community is everything. I wouldn't just go sign up for something or pick the first person you find to teach, but you have the community, because they can also recommend who's legit and who's not. Who they heard of.
Yeah. Hold on.
And I think
we'll drop into those real quick.
Yeah. And I think women are more instinctual when it comes to tribal relationships. So I think as far as a communal experience, y'all because with guys it's kind of like who's a better shooter, and with women, so shout out to
never want to be a beginner. I think guys never want to be beginners at anything. So it's like
yeah. But I think that's really dope. So wait, hold on. Breeze, what do you have?
I'm glad you asked. I got a little something over here. Let me know what you think of this.
I like that.
I might not have
All
to
right.
do much with that. That's
Yeah, I know.
good foundation for me, you know? Couple nice chops, little drums.
I gotta see what you did, what
bada
you do
boom.
with this, because on one of the other episodes, you went.
You didn't. I went
Yeah,
dead left.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which was cool. So he'll be chopping that beat up while the
Yep.
conversation happens.
Okay.
It's he's pretty damn dope too, if I'm being honest.
Thank you,
Which
sir.
I always am, but anyhow, Kenzie. So Three
Thank
Gun
you.
Kenzie, it's your handle. How did you get into Three Gun? Because there's clay shooting, there's shotgun sports, there's AR sports. How'd you get into Three Gun?
Sorry, I think my mic just changed over, by the way. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Technology. I don't know what happened. Okay, so Three Gun. 2017 was my very first competition, and it was at Talon Range in Tallahassee. I'm telling you, the start of my career was Talon, and they're still around. That range has grown. I mean, it started with dirt, right, and land and berms. That was it. Now they have like cameras on their 400-yard range. They've got cameras on every bay. They do massive competitions. But yeah, so Three Gun was 2017, and I did not know anything about Three Gun. I've told this story before, and it's very painful, but I still have the shotgun. So I bought a Stoker M3000 for $500. And I did not know anything about Three Gun. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a trainer. I didn't know. So I didn't have a tube, didn't have the like lifter and loading port open, like nothing fancy. So like the 5 rounds is what you get in camo too. So really just beautiful. And then I showed up with I had bought a Daniel Defense V7 used from a buddy with flip up iron sights, guys. Like I did not know anything. So it's okay. No. This was the best match of my life. Like it changed my life and I had fun. And then I had the stock Glock that my dad gave me, Glock 17 Gen 2, still have it, iron sights only. It's like pre-red dot, right? And I had the time of my life. What was funny at the time is I made 4 other guys shoot it with me. So like from the very beginning, I guess I was more influential than I thought, where I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna go shoot this. Want to go? Yeah. So like 5 of us went out, we shot. I missed all the long range, don't really care. Had to load one at a time, didn't have shotgun caddies. I mean, but I didn't see it as painful. It was just so much fun. So like the addiction set in right there. But no, I had a good time. The community was awesome. Those people too that hosted the match and like some of those that shot, I shot with them for years ongoing and I still keep in touch with them. So I know that community really well.
That's awesome. So you're 2 years shy of 10 years shooting Three Gun.
Yep.
And so how far has Three Gun taken you? Like, I know there's competitions all over the country. There's a person that I know, I believe he's gone as far as Puerto Rico to shoot Three Gun. So how far does your Three Gun trajectory take you?
So far Nevada and then all the way up to I guess it was not Philly necessarily, but up in that area. I have not done the international travel, and it was just because like after COVID, I was like, I don't really want to fly with firearms. There's a lot to do with traveling that I applaud people that do with like IPSC, but you have to get like I don't even know what it's called, the signatures and all the stuff, that paperwork to be able to take your guns with you. But not just that, it's like ammo. Like you either have to buy it there, or ship it, or go through customs. I don't even know how all that works. So that's actually a really intimidating factor for people that haven't done it. And I have people that I could ask, like, hey, how do I do this? Right. But I'm a U.S. shooter. I'm America shooter. I'm like, I'm good, you know.
I'm seeing right here. I'm shooting right here. That's awesome.
But all over the country. Awesome. Yeah.
So now I know you said you write as well. How does your, obviously you write about shooting too, but how does writing, hold on, let me rewind a little bit. As writing from the woman perspective is different from a guy's perspective. And it's solely based off of gender, because there are differences that like Rob said, men don't like to be beginners, and women are like, yo, teach me. And the one thing we've talked about, I don't know, in every conversation here is how this particular space, all you have to say is, I don't know. And there's people everywhere pouring into you. So how does writing, how has that helped you evolve as a shooter, even as a writer? And I know the ecosystem kind of goes back and forth. How has that helped you?
So what's interesting about writing that I talk about all the time is I feel like I built the credibility before I ever started writing. And what I mean by that is when I started writing, I was like, I have shot 3-gun, GSSF, Steel Challenge, USPSA. Like, I know that's more on the competition side, but also, when I started writing too, I had carried a gun every day for 3 years, like legit. Like, I'm the 1% woman that's weird with a knife and a flashlight and a multi-tool and the gun and all the things. But so coming into writing, it was like I had a knowledge base of some stuff that people were interested in. And to this day, those first articles I wrote was just general, like how to shoot a GSSF match. It's still like ranked number 1 on Google. Like some of the most beginning articles I did still are up there. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. And then like as a shooter, it's been interesting because I don't just shoot to shoot or shoot with no like intention or goals. So like from the writing perspective is I kind of go into shooting matches like, what do I want to learn, or what am I learning in the moment to go back and write about it, to explain that to somebody who's never done it. So what I mean by that, like the biggest hurdle was long range shooting. Oh my God. So I've written so much now about it where I learned how to shoot long range, but then I was able to go back and write about what tools actually make you hit a target far away. And what data do you need? Like, and what does that mean? And like to the most dumbed down basic, because I remember reading so much stuff that had acronyms and bullshit that I didn't understand, or they just assumed that I knew what a chronograph was, or that I knew what, I don't know, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was it's a mix of the two. And what's really cool, like I'm getting in more into hunting now. And I've done that the past couple years. Is when this is the only thing I'm really like kind of proud of, I guess, in some ways, when people connect me to new writers, new editors, what have you, they're like, we know Kenzie, she's legit 100% approved. Like I've gotten a lot of connections recently, which is really cool with Guns and Ammo magazine, print and digital side. And they're like, we know her, or we went to Gunsight with her or whatever. So they're like done. And so that's pretty cool where it's like the shooting kind of speaks for itself. The knowledge kind of speaks for itself. And it kind of goes hand in hand.
Hold on. You just dropped a subtle nugget. You went to Gunsight?
So I've been to Gunsight twice, and I've been to Thunder Ranch once. I have a bucket list of like places I want to go. There's like long range ones in Texas I want to do, rifles only. That's a dream for long range. But yeah.
What'd you do at Gunsight?
So I did the Taurus. Actually, where is it? GX2. It's somewhere on this godforsaken wall. So the GX2 launch, we did that in August last year, and I got to go out there, and it was a couple days. We got to film and shoot and test the guns out, and then before that, the year prior, I went with Ruger and Girls with Guns clothing. And same thing, like we were testing the clothing for carry. We had the Ruger, I want to say LC9. And that was like just like the Gunsight stuff is media stuff, which is cool, but it's focused around women only was that one, which was really cool. And then how those clothing plays with the gun size and all of that. So yeah, I hope to be back this year too. I won't say where, when, or with who, but
on the training side, I've always wanted to go to Gunsight for training because I know they're like considered, top of the line training, and that's dope. So yeah, hold on. Gunsight writing. I lost my train of thought listening to.
Oh, you're good.
So what do you prefer when you're shooting? Is it a shotgun, an AR, or?
Yeah, my favorite gun in the world is now my Genesis Arms 12 gauge shotgun. They're both right here.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen you posted it on socials.
I'm honored. I shoot for them, and I just think that the AR platform, like there's AK shotguns I borrowed and shot before, but like switching from an AR to an AK is very different. The controls are completely different, and it sounds dumb when people are like, "It's just an AK, you flip it here." But when you spend so much time on the same trigger, the same platform, the same safety, like as a competitive shooter, you can't have that brain fart and that mess up. It's just something that's ingrained. So yeah, my Genesis Arms 12 gauge is my favorite. What's interesting about those guns too is it still has my Hyperfire Eclipse trigger that it's on every PCC and every rifle that I compete with. Like that's my go-to trigger. So it's really easy to switch over. Like the ambi controls are there. So it's just so much like my AR that it makes life easy. So it's a dream to shoot, like so flat, 12 gauge, easy to handle, easy to move. And honestly, when I switched to open division is what that's called with magazine fed shotgun, it truly changed my scoring results and my ability to shoot faster because I didn't have to quad load. So it leveled me up in a place that, like, I was 18th last year at the finale for 3 Gun. This year is like 21st. So I'm still in that, up there with open, and I'm proud of that. So it's the gun.
Have you won any 3 Gun matches?
I mean, so not overall. Let's see. So this is Fall Brawl 2024, like High Lady. So pretty much, I want to say the last 4 matches that Zoo City's put on 3 Gun wise, I've always been High Lady, but I don't think I know I won't ever win a 3 Gun match because there are SF guys in the Army Marksmanship Unit and really just incredible shooters who are paid to shoot or have the opportunity to just do that only, right? And I don't have the time for it, which I'm fine. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. The fact that I'd say, like, I don't suck at any of them too much, or like I've at least mastered like the skills of every single gun is something that I did work towards by shooting PRS or by shooting USPSA or by whatever, like that's been the dream and the goal.
So I'm going to ask you a two-part question here.
Sure.
The first one, it's going to be, how often do you train, whether it's at home dry firing or at the range, for just everyday carry, versus what is your training regimen like when you're training to compete?
Yeah, I wish I said I trained more. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm never home. We all know this, but I'll tell you a couple things where that comes into play though as well. So for concealed carry, like when I'm on the range, I always have my gun on me for the most part, especially if I'm outside or working around the house. I will do reps because I'm like, why not? I have the gun out. I have a 9mm that I'm doing anyways for video. I might as well do some reps, and I'll draw and I'll shoot. I'll draw and I'll shoot. I'll reload. And my camera gal too, she carries the same gun that I do. And I'm like, hey, you're here. You need to do this with me. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's start drawing, And if you carry off body, women, please dry fire first. Figure out how you're going to get that gun out. There's ways to off body carry that, that work, and dry fire it, then live fire it. And if you have never live fired from a purse or a bag or whatever, newsflash, you're not going to be able to do it in the moment. So definitely I spend a lot of time if I'm already on the range to do that, then yeah. And then same with like getting it ready in the morning. Again, I have a fully loaded pistol, so I never put my finger on the trigger, but I at least like clear my garment. So I test the clothing that I'm wearing. I'm like, all right, I can, draw my gun out. We're good. And so that's something I check, especially if it's new clothing. Competition side. Okay. So I wish I said that I trained. I don't, unless it's like cross training. And what I mean by that is when I shoot AK matches, it's helping me shoot an AR-15 later on with offhand shooting or moving targets or whatever. PRS, a whole year of working on precision rifle series, helped me shoot an AR at long range, helped me do positional work off a bag and a bipod. So like I cross train in that regard to increase all the other skills. And here's my word of advice to people that shoot or go to events or range days. Every time you pick up a gun, it doesn't matter if it's yours or not, you are training. So if you do it floppily, if you don't grip the gun, if you don't dry fire, if you don't play with that trigger or whatever, you're not being intentional about your shooting, and you're probably forming bad habits. So, whatever media event I'm at, I actually treat that as if I was training. So
that's another reoccurring theme that keeps popping up in these podcasts, is that this is no different from any other discipline, whether it's a sport or, like something like karate. It's a discipline where you have to treat it with respect and a really high level of respect, because any wrong move can cost somebody their life. This isn't like, and I'm not downplaying, full contact sports or something like jiu-jitsu, but you'll break an arm, right? Yeah. But here, depending on what kind of ammo you have, it could bounce around. It could go through and through. So
did you see my X post? Did you see my Twitter post that went viral last week?
No, I didn't. No.
So it's 1.1 million views. And I say this with a serious heart. And my issue, you can go look at it, is back home, one of the ranges back home that I love and respect. They have the best long range shooting in the country. They had a competitor. I mean, they're not like related, right? But she signed up for a match. She shot there before, fully loaded pistol, and she had to retreat from one box to the next box. Very easy to do if you practice and you train. She just turned around with her entire gun, like complete 300 or whatever, 270 degrees, whatever it is, straight back, and then pointed at all of the other competitive shooters. So like fully loaded. We don't know if her finger's on the trigger or not. And then she steps in the box and keeps shooting. So I post it. And here's my issue. She was deleting comments about like people like, what's a 180 rule, or forget firearm safety, or, people were making jokes, but also like calling it out. And she was deleting them and she was blocking people. And then she even wrote like, oh, it's a bad camera angle. And her camera person was actually uprange of her. So technically they're also in the line of fire when she turns around. So it is still on there. And so where I'm going with this is check your fucking egos, guys. I still make mistakes as a shooter. Like I still, have a light trigger on some of my guns. They're pointed down range, but I know if I, shoot my Nighthawk doubles, I'm like, I didn't mean to pull that first one too soon. Right. Or I didn't have it on the target where I wanted it. Like you said, these are really high tools that can hurt someone. So be safe with them. And even if you fire, 50,000 rounds a year, you can slip up by getting complacent, by not checking that chamber, by not whatever. So please take it seriously.
Are you familiar with Byron, the instructor? Do you know him? We had him on the show, but he says the same thing. He's been training for, I want to say, almost 20 years, and there's still, not a slip up like that. That's a pretty severe slip up, but it happens, right? Yeah. We're humans, and when you're in the competitive spirit, you want to move fast. But I'm saying that because, man, you're 100% right. Like, you have to always keep that top of mind, because God forbid.
And own it. You have to own it. Like, if it is a mistake, like, again, in that whole scenario, there was no apologies, there was no regretfulness. Like, if that ever happened, if I ever did that, I truly would hope that my friends would say, you need, I'm taking your gun, right? Like, I'm taking your gun from you. You need to go dry fire. But also, you need to train. You need to bury yourself in the sand. It was so egregious that it's stuff that should be embarrassing. It should be a wake-up call. It should be something that you take seriously. And where I go with this too is, every shooter, it's not a matter of if, but when, is going to DQ. I have DQ'd. My buddies have DQ'd. It is something that happens. I've seen them where they go into a dump barrel and fire a round off, or they don't even have the gun up yet and they accidentally fire a round off. And that stuff happens in competition. But where I've seen it on a high level with these competitors is it's always typically, not always, but always in a safe direction. It's downrange, it's downward, it's birdshot, it's upward, but it's stuff where do not point that gun at anyone, right? So if we're breaking that rule,
Wow, yeah. So I guess I have another question. When you carry for everyday carry, do you keep one in the chamber, or are
100%,
you from
100%? That's not even a question. That's not even a question, guys. You are, I teach a lot of women, and it's funny because they come to me with their sometimes spouses' guns, and they'll have the external thumb safety if it's a 1911 style, or I've seen the Shield Easy, which has the grip safety and then the thumb safety, and then that it's too much, and then they're so small, oh my god, so small. Even the GX2, the Taurus, I'm sorry to say this, and we did this at Gunsight, none of us used the thumb safety. It's so tiny, and it's so, when it's new, it's not broken in, so that gun is still safe. Your finger's off the trigger, pointed in a safe direction. It is holstered. Yeah. These guns don't just go off unless you're a 320. So just make sure that when you're, working a firearm, that you are prepared if you aren't going to put one in the chamber. You should. But if you're not trained it, come to a class and treat your gun as if you would carry it, and then see how long it takes you to rack that gun. Because if you can't even rack that gun with your strength now, I see a lot of women oh, I can't, you don't want to do that. And then she can't even pull it back in the moment. So you're dead.
What about life death moment?
You're dead.
I missed it. I just saw is the horn too late now, or
no? We need a failure horn. We need the failure one.
Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I got I don't want to play all right.
Yeah, you're dead. It's not even a scenario. You're dead.
You're dead.
And you're
Guess
dead.
what? You're dead.
You're dead.
Yo, what are you chopping up there? Let us hear a preview or what?
Something.
Wow, sounds good.
I'll let you be the judge of this. Let's see here. Might have cooked up a little something.
Oh, I like that.
I just played off I slowed it down.
Yeah,
I like the flow. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
I like the
better.
Yeah.
Where?
It's getting there. Little tinkering. All these beats will be available. We're gonna put together a little off the beaten path
mixtape series or
mixtape series, So when you're out in the woods and you got some dogs front, and you're waiting for the next hunt, you can just start freestyling, throwing some off the beaten path beats.
Yo, Breeze, I know you had some questions for Kenzie.
I did. I don't know what I missed when I was off in the
no, we covered a lot. You're incredibly informative.
Thank you.
And I love how I can tell that you're passionate about it. And you know what? Here's a question I want to ask you. Girl guns. There's this thing in the industry, I hate seeing all these companies do pink guns, teal guns. Get your girl a small gun. Get your wife a small. It fits in her hand. My wife is 5'9". There's no such thing as a small hand with her.
Agreed. Let me
look. She's let me go to the wall.
Yeah.
Like, what day is it? Tuesday. Let's see. Which one? Did you ask her about her favorite gun to carry her every day? What her every day?
No. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Okay. Women, carry the largest gun you can conceal on your body with the most amount of capacity, right? And so I wouldn't say necessarily even girl guns, but I would just say guns that will fit their hand is actually important. So anything slimline, like I'm all for. I know you're going to go into it, but I'm just going to say, because I carry the IWI Masada slim gun. They have the full size. And then, I mean, the SIG P365 was a really good gun, because it's chassis built, you can switch out the grip and get something that's more to you. I put the Wilson Combat grip on that. And then the ones in front of me that I pulled up, so the Canik Mete, they had a couple versions. They had the MC9, this is the L, and then they have the new one that's coming out that's American made. But, I don't even know the capacity, man. Like 17 plus 1, like that's wild.
That's double stack, right?
Yeah, it's double stack.
Yeah. Yep.
So 13 plus 1 is the new GX2. And this would be, I think, like the cheapest one out there. I mean, I think it's going to be like 300 something ridiculous. But I like, not this gun, but I like their GX4 carry. It's optics cut. It's a lot more expensive. It's probably double. But you still have that high capacity. So, and it's slimmer. So that's the other stuff where I was going to go with. The Canik slim, the Taurus is slim. This is a little bit bigger, but I'm not a small woman. But I ended up buying this because I fell in love with it. But it's the new Smith & Wesson carry comp pistol or whatever. It is ported, so it's really nice on all of the controls. I mean, and it just looks sick, but optics ready, all that stuff. And then the other one that I've been playing with, and I have actually carried and taken on trips, is the OA Defense. It's the Compact Pro, also ported. So the ports are actually in the side. Instead of the top. And again, like the capacity on this one, I 17 plus 1.
Is that a flared magwell? Oh yeah, look at that.
It's sort of flared, but it's more flush than you think. Like it doesn't flare outward,
completely,
but it makes it easy. Like if you had your mag stuck, you could rip it out. So like all of these guns that I recommend people, 15 plus 1 for the Smith is a slimmer design. However, all of these, besides like the OA Defense, because it's 1911 platform, no external safeties, no bullshit on the grip safeties. Like it's very easy to use. The OA Defense doesn't have a grip safety, but it has your thumb safety. But because I train and shoot a 1911, when I draw these guns from concealment, my thumb's already on the safety and it's already deactivating it as I'm drawing it out of the holster. So like my safety's off before I even get halfway up with the firearm, right? So you have to train, but honestly, women just need to be able to pull trigger. Just pull trigger. Get it done, So
now I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Off body or on body carry?
Okay, so I do both, but on body. So actually, this sounds, again, I'm the 1%. Weird as hell. I always have my IWI Masada Slim on me, and I always have a backup pistol as well, which is nuts. So if I do a crossbody bag, I always put that on the left side and then have my gun on my right. And then I have the Glock 43, which is small, 7 rounds. It's in there. And I use a really nice crossbreed holster that's still Kydex and has like the leather with the Velcro. But I also have a crossbody like Vertex bag and then a 511 bag that I put around my waist. And those all have those Velcro backings too that I put that gun in and put the SIG 365 in. And so I have 2 guns on myself probably 75% of the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is wild.
Like
but, if you, God forbid, if you just can't carry on body, fine, carry off body, but dry fire it and figure it out.
Why do you carry 2 firearms?
Why not? 2 is 1 and 1 is none. It's easy to do it, right? So it's something where I don't even think about it. Like I know I have, as a woman, we have our wallet, we have our keys, we probably have lipstick or chapstick. I have whatever. I always have a bag, even if it's the smallest little crossbody ever. I can guarantee you it has the Velcro and the holster in there. I don't know if you've seen the Ukawala bag I wear on my thigh.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Straight draw. There's no, that one is great because there's no zippers or anything like that. It's like a magnetic tiny closure in the middle, so it's still concealed, but I go straight down, pull up, guns out, and it's on my right side. So easy where it comes out. So, and that's not something people are going to attack me and pull the purse off because it's not behind me. It's not yanking me down. It's literally a strap to my thigh and my waist. So it's not coming off, So
I don't know how popular it is now, but Breeze, you remember back in the day, dudes, we used to have one on us and then one on our ankle.
Of course. Who made the ankle gun faint? Was that Crockett and Tubbs?
Yeah, big house.
Miami Vice.
Yeah, it's like a big country thing to do now.
Well, my pops, he was. It's funny our stories because I grew up around guns. Like my dad taught me. He was an outdoor guy, fisherman. Always had 2 guns. Always had the Derringer in his back pocket.
Yep.
It was funny because even when he didn't have it in his back pocket, it looked like it was in his back pocket because he wore the 4 pairs of jeans and you could see the Derringer outline in his back pocket.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I love to hear your story because it's cool because that's where I'm at now. I kind of got away from it. I don't know how much of our story you know. We had a recording studio here for almost 7 years, so we did very high level recording. We were in the music industry, and it's just like we're so excited to start this chapter and get back into the outdoors and connect with all this stuff again. It's awesome to hear.
I never really thought about competition shooting, but you know what I have fallen in love with? Skeet shooting.
Oh, it's addictive. So shotgun's my favorite gun in the world, like I said, but also just shotgun, period. So fun.
I have a how many shotguns do we have between?
Oh, okay. I thought you were because you met his twin brother at
yeah.
So we were at a range day, and
this is nuts.
Yeah, this is
IV
I don't think either of y'all had ever shot skeet, right?
No,
like,
never.
Skeet before.
No.
So we're out there. I'm doing terrible. I shot like 1 out of 8. The guy's like trash talking me. I'm like, dude, we're supposed to be having fun out.
What did he say, Bree?
So he said, yeah. He looked at Cush. He goes, "Your friend a sissy?" I'm like, dude, take it easy. I'm trying to figure this gun out. So Cush did pretty good, and then his brother Cut stepped up, missed the first couple.
Rain Man.
And the guy like gave him. I don't know what he whispered in his ear, but he told him something, and whatever it was, he turned it. He like went straight Neo in the Matrix. Like he was just like, ooh, like putting the gun down on the table at the end and picking.
Like I'm done.
Like, crazy.
The people around him were looking at him like, what the hell is this guy?
He walked away from the table.
He's on the Olympics. He's
like,
trained.
I like skeet shooting because he's a very like reserved. He's like, I like that. We're like,
his excitement level. The dude's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty
fun. We should get into that. I did pretty good at that. The guys,
and skeet shooting, they pay a lot better than any other shooting sports. Like they're like the golf of shooting sports. I feel like.
Wow, nice.
Oh, wow,
so, where's Augusta National, brother?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll teach you something about Augusta National, Breeze.
Yeah,
it's funny how like I see different shooters do something like really well. It's funny how that like reactive and moving targets can be so much easier than static ones. Like what's bullshit is like when I shot PRS, the 300-yard, these are not big targets in PRS. They make them small, right? But we had a 300-yard mover and a 500-yard mover. I had never shot a moving target ever, actually, like for rifle. And I remember like having to put in my Kestrel like the speed of it and how to put I did it all wrong, by the way, starting out in practice of the reticle has to be in front of the target and it switches direction. You forget that, dude. It's like complicated. So, but when I got to the match level, I like clean both of those stages, right? And then I go to a freaking static steel stage and then I get like 1 point or like 4 points. And I was like, cool. Like, why?
So before we get we're already far into the weeds.
This is fun.
I want to highlight, I know we've talked about your story, your journey. I want to highlight what you're doing in the space. Tell us a little bit about Gals Day at the Range?
Yes, Gals Day at the Range. So this is in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I have done this for 5 years. So this will be my 6th, and I started in Florida. I had this day where I was like, you know what? I just want to have women out, my friends out, and we're going to make it a women's only. Men stay at home. Like, I don't even want spouses or boyfriends. Like, you're out. And I think it was like 5 of us that got together. And it was at that time, again, it really wasn't like a concept as much as like, I'm bringing my guns that I had and come on out and shoot. And so they brought their own ammo and they shot. The next year, same thing. I think I had some ammo sponsors at the time, but then I started picking up on the growth. Like it was like 10 people, 15 people. I was like, okay. So the 3rd year when I moved to Tennessee, I hosted at the Boy Scout range. It was like 70 people and we sold out and we had the
How many?
70.
Wow.
I do 100 now. So it's grown. We're one day, Mother's Day weekend. It's on Saturday though, so you can get home to your mom's. But it is where women are just completely spoiled. So 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Here's what's cool. I have the most trusting ROs. Like they are professional shooters or instructors or people I trust, especially with women, because I would love to have a women where it's all women and hosted with 100 women, but I don't have enough women that are in space to even do that, right? Yeah. But they, at the beginning of it, they dry fire. Doesn't matter what level they are. We do 30 minutes of dry fire and then safety and all that stuff. But I have a 22 LR bay only, suppressed bay only, shotgun bay only, where we launch clays too. And we have, it's just so much fun. And then a rifle bay. And then we have the pistol bay. And I have massive sponsors. I give away IWI guns, HK guns, Walther guns, Taurus guns. I give away Holosun and EOTech optics, ammo. I mean, like you go home with something pretty much. And we blow up tannerite. We blow up ballistic dummy lab targets. And then I have an ice cream truck that even comes out, and it's all paid for, so it's included. It's nuts. Like
that's my love language there,
right? It's so cool. So like now, I mean, you pay the ticket, and I make it where if you have your own eyes and ears, I recommend they bring it. But other than that, I mean, we have some of that. You could show up with nothing. It's not. They don't bring their own guns because it's too complicated. We only shoot specific calibers, make it simple, for the sponsors. But they have. I bring all of these guns that are 9mm, 12 gauge, 222 LR. Like everything you see back here is going to the range. So these guns get shot and used and tried and demoed, and then they leave and they're like, "That's the gun I want to carry." They take fake pictures and they ask questions. They ask about the optics. I mean, they're literally learning. HK is sponsored like the last 3 years. They've actually set up a tent. They're coming again this year and giving away a CC9. But those guys actually drive in and bring their MP5s. Like, how cool is it when you shoot a machine gun and stuff like that, And it's just super rewarding to hear that this is. I mean, it's like it sells out. It's an event where I have like generations of women in one family come. A grandma, a daughter, and like the the granddaughter all came one year. I have a group of like 8 girls that always come together. It's incredible, and then a lot of people find their community, find their friends. Like that's how I met my camera gal.
Awesome.
She came to my event, didn't know her, and then a couple months later, she's like, "I'll help you out." I'm like, "Game on!" So
that's awesome.
I love that event. It's a lot. That's why I do it once.
And that's coming up, right?
Yeah, May 10th. Yeah, May 10th.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hold on.
It's worth driving in for. So I mean, like it is.
The
really
DJ, the urban DJ horn.
Air horn.
Yeah, all the guys are like, "Can I dress up as a woman? I'm a trans now. I identify." Yeah, okay.
I identify as You're
like, just stay out of our restroom.
Yeah, you're like, you got 85 range days you could go to this year.
I'd be out of ammo in like 10 minutes if it was dudes because it's unlimited ammo. It's whatever, But women are a lot more like there to learn, and they don't go rip mags, dump mags. Like that's not what they're there for.
I think, man, I love that. So we do work with WOMA, the Women Outdoor Media Association. I love talking to them because I hear the stories. And I think that is one of the reasons we're so passionate. He has a wife and 2 daughters. I have a wife and 2 daughters, and it's more than just the dude. It's more than just guys out here shooting. Like, if my youngest told me, "Dad, I want to pick up a gun and go shooting with you," and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I think about that, and I'm like, I don't want to. I know we said in the beginning we're not going to talk politics. This is not about DEI or any of that. This is just about girls seeing themselves in the space, or minorities as a whole. Just wow, I saw somebody today on LinkedIn post that all these companies are targeting the same old demo, and it's like, man, it's changing. It's changing,
and that's where
I was gonna. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's where you get those like the Walther PDP-F, literally female. Like that's where you're getting these slimline guns, which are great. Like I don't care if you call them girl gun. I really don't. And I do like colored shit, right? Obviously my shotgun's blue, but and purple. But like they are catering to that demographic, and it's surging, which is I'm all for it.
Yeah.
It just seems like go ahead.
When did you see that start? Like really start?
I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. It really it didn't exist when it did, but like I remember shooting my first couple matches, and I like saw the women on the Glock team. I saw a couple women shooters, like Tiffany, my friend Tiffany at Talon was like the only other female, and then with the pistol team in college, it was only the female at the time was the president, and that was it. It was just me and her, so that there wasn't that demographic, and now it's like. I got 10 women that want to go shoot. I have a camera gal that's a woman. I have a contractor that's doing gun marketing that's a woman that's like a pro shooter that goes to world shoots. I have, a girl down the street that comes over and we shoot together. So like, hell yeah, it's growing.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I love to see how the space is growing for that particular reason. Because man, like I think us guys, we're cool. We're dope. We like to do stupid stuff. We like to mag dump and stuff like that, but there's
Well-
always the sense of an island, right? There's always
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, this is me and my guys, and you know, and when
Just
ladies are like,
promise
no,
us
come
you
shoot.
won't get angry if you see Cush and I sneaking by the ice cream truck at the range day. I just don't.
Hey,
don't
If you
We'll
want to
be
come up
in
in
and out. We'll be in and
RO,
out.
if you want to come up in RO, I will put you in a hotel. I will pay. You got the ice cream.
Don't-
I'm not joking. I need RO.
Don't
So
threaten
you
us
should
with a
film.
good time.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Okay.
it. Mother's Day.
Okay.
Bring the
All right.
wives. They could shoot.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to switch topics, but I did want to say, like, I do want to talk about, like, even the hunting industry has grown with the women, but
Yeah.
like, it is so fulfilling. So you talk about like just women getting into guns, feeling, you know, empowered, right? I feel like that way since I've already done that. I feel that way in the hunting world because I'm still new to some of these animals I've shot, right? And it's something where I learned to skin them, butcher them, take them home, process all that, you know, and cook it. And I'm so empowered with the fact, like, holy shit, if the world ended tomorrow, or like, you know, shit hit the fan, I can go outside and kill a turkey. I can go outside and get and do my own deer. Like I the confidence is pretty cool. And I don't know if you saw it recently. I put on Instagram and I wrote about it, but I went on my very first since 10 years of not duck hunting. First duck hunting experience, but in West Tennessee, which is massive, like mallards galore. Holy crap. Shot my first pintail and mallard, and I'm getting it mounted. But where I'm going with this, they did a women's event hosted by the state of Tennessee and the Tennessee resource agency for 50 women. It was $50. And then you paid for your hotel, which they got a rate for it. And they provided the ammo, the clays. They did a whole tune-up day and shotgun day the day before. They even had demo shotguns for people that didn't have them. And then the duck blinds. I did not know there was duck blinds built into the earth with refrigerators and stoves. And have you seen them?
No.
He sent me. I don't know if it was that fancy, but
what was
Bethany, the one Bethany was on. She just remember you sent me the video. Bethany,
yes,
those places exist.
In there, and I'm
yes.
like, what kind of duck blind is this?
Yes, that was real. That was my experience. So we had 12 holes, and it was upstairs. And here's the shit: this guy had a motorized platform in the middle for his dad on a wheelchair to get into. Oh my god! But then you go down the stairs, which are all blocked by plastic, whatever. And he had a griddle. He was making our breakfast scramble. There's drinks. There's a pool table. And I was like, this is anyway. So we had to do that. So long story short, where I'm going with that is it was all women, for women, and then hosted us. And it was just incredible. And so that's stuff that's still new to me. That's, you know.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That's cool. I watched that special and I was like, I want to go duck hunting.
I even made a joke. I was like, that was better than my apartment in college. For a lot of them. More square footage.
Me, Breezy, and my brother have been talking about how this next decade is about hunting. So me and my twin brother, our company, Apex Mountain, has this channel called 2AR, and it's basically exploring me and my brother, urban Latinos, navigating the legal gun ownership, and breaking down stigmas and things like that. But the conversations we're having is that's just the first season. The second season is going to be about hunting because that's what I want to do. Breeze has a background in hunting. My brother wants to do it. It's the closest I ever been was I used to kill cows for a living down in Texas, in South Texas. So
wait, did you hit him in the face and butcher him?
With the gauge. Yeah, with the gauge, I know how to skin
one of my best friends, Jessie, did that in Auburn University. It's that. Yeah, she can do all that. I'm
this madman volunteered for it.
They're I did.
I did. Go to the kill floor. He's like,
it's so fun.
Me.
It's so fun. I can't deal with human blood, but I like chopping legs off deer and skinning them up and pulling the it's really fun. Don't know why.
A cow is such a massive animal.
Huge.
I think grocery stores feed the dystopian reality of what harvesting animals are like, because a cow is massive.
Yeah.
And so when we didn't get to skin it by hand, we just start the process, the Y, and then open it.
Yeah.
The last station is the hydraulic station, and it would rip the hide off. And it was just something incredible to see. But man, it's I want to get back to that. I want to get back to processing and harvesting.
You and I are the same person right now. You and I are the same person. I'm going turkey hunting for the first time in my life this year. I've got 5 hunts planned, and one with Onyx, the app, hunting app, which is great. And then I'm going to go predator hunting in a couple weeks with coyotes and bobcats. I haven't killed one of those suckers yet, but like that's my goal. Like I started gator hunting and deer hunting last year. I even put in for elk tags this year, which are lotteries. I don't think I'll win any, but I'm going to do it for the next couple years and see if I get anything. So I'm in the same era that you are. I still will compete, but I'm doing less of that kind of just for fun. And then really trying to learn how to hunt.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yo,
Breeze.
That was the coolest. You saw how big that thing was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I think I missed it.
No, it's on Facebook, but that giant one, 13 feet, 1 inch. His skull is in my freezer, so I'm gonna taxidermy it.
I was just gonna
yeah.
His skull is in my freezer.
Actually,
thanks, Gator. Gator,
the gun's upstairs. So I built so I didn't know how gator hunting happened either. Like I've actually never watched Swamp anything or Duck Dynasty. I had no idea. So the guy that I did, he's fan-freaking-tastic, fin twisters. I always mess it up. And South Louisiana and Venice. He was such a redneck. So like, they bait hooks. I don't know if you know that. I didn't know it. So they bait them. And like the next day you come in and they're stuck on these massive hooks like fish are. And then they just shoot them in the head with the 22, like right in the spot. But there's other ways. So, and this is what I got to do. You can shoot them while they're like going across the canal, or if they're up on like a shoreline and whatnot. And you have to do an eyeball shot. So I have it on video. I haven't posted the video yet, but I did an article on that. I built a 22 arc rifle, and then I mounted my scope, leveled my scope, zeroed my scope, and then flew to Louisiana and spotted my alligator off the shore. And then we had like a little tripod. The boat's moving. I'm like, stop the boat. Like, all right. And then I get on the tripod and I had a malfunction because my barrel is such tight tolerances. So I get on it and like within 10 seconds, like click. And I was like, oh, so I rack it to try to just get one out and get one in. The double feeds. I was like, perfect. Drop the mag, but I'm trying to clear it. And the extractor is like not pulling it. Finally got it out, reloaded it, recharged it. Perfect eyeball shot, and that was like 34 seconds in total with all of that panic going on a moving boat. Like,
and you got that on camera?
Oh yeah, it's not beautiful like quality, but I got me behind it, and then I zoomed up, and you just see the gator like fly over, like smacked. I mean, it's a loud noise, and it was a perfect eyeball shot. One shot, dead.
Wow,
really freaking cool.
You mean through and through each eyeball?
Yeah,
that's cool. So. In other words, we should never try and run or swim from you. Cool. Yo, Breeze, didn't you want to ask her a couple questions? I know, we're getting kind of close to it.
I don't know what I missed when I was in the rabbit hole. All right, over
so here. We're gonna roll out this for all our
advice for newcomers. Oh yeah, okay, yes. Did we come up with our final
AK, AR, or shotgun? Which one and why?
Shotgun. Because 12 gauge shotgun, like you will never. It's not even practical, right? But you'll never change my mind. Like that is my favorite gun to shoot. It doesn't matter what gun, but 12 gauge shotgun.
Is that your home defense?
No, home defense. I built 2 shorties. I did a 5-inch, 300 blackout, and then suppressed folder, all that. Like it is tiny, and then an AR pistol, 223 suppressed. Everything I pretty much am going with, even hunting. I only hunt suppressed, unless it's shotgun. And then I have a bedside pistol that lives on my bedside with the threaded barrel. It's the Walther, but you can get the aftermarket threaded barrels for it. And then the other one that I'm gonna suppress here soon. I don't know if you see the Kimber Mako, but it's like their new textured gun, which is really cool. Nice trigger. I mean, I love it. So threaded barrel already. And I think I'm gonna put the Thunder Beast can that just got sent to me. I need to go pick it up. Actually, it's a 9mm can, little shorty.
So okay, I had another question, but it's. I think you're just gonna go by yourself. I was gonna say like if shit does hit the fan and you got to pick one guy between Jason Bourne and John Wick, who you rolling with?
Keanu Reeves. It's not even about John Wick. It's about Keanu. Like, but I really would go with John Wick, and here's why. Because he fucking trained. Okay, even if I'm not talking about Keanu, he trained, and he shot my Genesis arms in movie number 4, and suppressed, and he quad loaded in the 3rd movie, and like so that guy actually trained. Jason Bourne. Skills, knowledge, whatever. Okay. John Wick has mastered the AR, the pistol, the rifle, the reloads.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah,
and you know what? Kudos to him because he's the one who blew up the.
Yes, and then Don't do that.
So now I'm gonna ask you: striker fired or hammer fired?
Striker fired.
Striker fired. Yeah, definitely. I don't like
they're fun. Hammer fired's fun, but you're adding in a grip safety, and that's stuff where people don't know how to take those down typically, but also just maintenance. But striker fired, easy.
Okay, last one. Zombie apocalypse is popping off. You get 3 guns to bring with you. Which 3 you bringing?
Her Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis would be fun. No, this IWI Galil shoots lights out, and I actually have a suppressor for it. And then I have the red dot 0 at 50 or the close one at 7 yards. So I can pop them either way. And then I'm grabbing my 308, or probably 22 arc now. 22 arc suppressed AR-15 I built because that'll schwack them at distance too. And then 100% pistol. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yep.
So Kenzie, tell people where they can find you. Where I know on your website you have for gals at the day range, right? But for like I said at the beginning, this isn't necessarily for the industry. We want to bring people in. How can women find you, or just people who want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, 3gunkenzie.com is my website. I have ladies 2-gun class on there, the gals day, and then private training if you're interested. If you go to Portfolio, all of the blogs I've written for other websites, all of the print stuff I've done, all of those are linked on there. So a lot of them have those hunting stories, educational stories. And then at 3Gun Kenzie on Instagram and Facebook, very easy to find me and DM me. I check my request folder. I leave a lot of those creepy DMs from the dudes in there, though. So just you're not getting by that filter. But if you have a legit question and need help, I will answer you on there. Other than that, I'm really easy to reach. I mean, ask anybody, and if they know me, like text her, call her, whatever.
I think we missed out on a segment.
Which segment?
Creepy dude DMs with 3Gun Kenzie.
So I fucked up one day. I actually had my toes in a video.
No.
It was so disgusting.
Okay, I should have left it on the table. I'm sorry.
No, it's so serious. And then no, this is kind of comical. I've had people like send me photos. This is from SHOT Show last year, not this year, but last year. Send me photos of me at the floor, like trying to find me, but it was like pictures of me, but like never got to catch up to me. And I was like, that's creepy. So it was like all on his phone like that. And then I've had the weirdest stuff where like from Classic Firearms, people are like, wow, I should settle down with you. Like you're a baddie and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, but you think that I would want you because you have nothing to offer. Like, you can't come in my DMs being like, you'd be great. And I'm like, and what do you have? Like, what skills are you bringing to the table? The DMs, man, are. And if you have no picture or like there's a private page, I can't even like it's your dog. I don't know.
You already know.
So uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, Kenzie, we appreciate you. We appreciate your stories. Yeah. I love how you got into it. I know you said again, just to touch back on it, your granddaddies on both sides, and then your dad, and then like just seeing you like really kill it from college on forward, and now you're working the industry. It's really dope to see the content you're putting out, but more importantly, like what you're doing to bring more women shooters into the space. So I wish you all the best and success. I hope we get to work together in some capacity in the future. Breezy, mission accomplished or what?
I had the intro, you had the outro. I mean, come on now.
Mission accomplished.
There it is.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I wonder how many people know that that's actually from GTA. Yeah. Did you know that was from GTA?
Grand Theft Auto. I don't video game, but I know the acronym.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in.
There it is.